Okay, so change of plans. I was going to do all these sensors, but I actually am going to have to pull this back off at a later date because one of them haven't come in the mail yet. What I definitely want to do is this throttle body position sensor. I don't know if this is giving me a problem. I really can't tell, but I would like to get it replaced just to see. Now, I bought a good quality product at, what is it? Standard Motor, which is pretty good. That's actually a transmission sensor. This is it right here. So I want to see if this might do anything for me. Here's the new sensor. You know, this is a little bearing pivot in here, so this thing rotates left and right depending on where your throttle is. I think after so many years of driving, and this might wear out, might set in the wrong spot, so you might have issues driving. You know, my car's not terrible, definitely drivable, but I just figured if I have, you know, I'm taking off all this stuff to do I just finished the valve cover gasket. I just figured it might be good to replace some of this other stuff while I'm looking at it. If I can get the plug undone, then maybe I could start the job, but it doesn't look like I'll be able to do that, so. Okay, so to unplug that, I needed a pair of pliers and a screwdriver, and I pretty much squeezed the back. Oh my gosh, the exposure's horrible. I squeezed the back of the plug here, and then I used the screwdriver and pushed it off from the front. Very awkward, very weird. So what I'm gonna do is I have this T20 bit, and I'm gonna actually put it in the back of this 1/4 inch socket, which would fit in here like this. And if I'm lucky, it will work the way I plan. Might have to also unplug this idle air control valve because I think the wire is going to be in the way for what I want to do. Okay, so now that that's unplugged, I might actually have room to get in here and do this. So I couldn't use the screwdriver because it's too big. So that's why I'm putting this together, hoping that I could use this. And with the other sensor unplugged, I think I have enough room. Okay, this is terrible to do with one hand, so I'm gonna turn this off and pull this out. So my overpriced Milwaukee bit went flying. So my dad loaned me his, the right way to do it. Anyway, just so you guys know, it looks like these have some sort of glue on them. They're very, very, very tough to get out. So try this and see what happens. I got one out, this one's pretty well stuck. So to be totally honest, this throttle body sensor is harder than the valve cover gasket that I did. This is harder than doing the valve cover gasket. I finally got it off. It's a piece of shit. I kind of hope it's broken. If it's not broken, it's broken now with how tough it was to pull it off. These had so much glue on them that I needed to take them down to the bench grinder, take all the glue off, because I was not putting it back together like that. Problem with doing this is that sometimes it just doesn't go back together right, and you're gonna have issues with the car running a little awkward and whatever the case is. So I might want to stick these cables back on. I took these off to do the valve cover gasket, so I think I'm gonna stick these back on. There we go. So those are all on, not secured in any way, which is fine. Now, I don't know how I'm going to adjust this properly because I don't know, whatever. We'll see, I'll put this on. If it's broken, it's broken, don't care anymore. Doesn't fit. That's sick. Well, let me see what's wrong. Well, I was being dumb and putting it on upside down. So that's my own fault. I hope these screws don't give me as much trouble going in as I did coming out, because that was stupid. I broke a bit, I lost a bit, and I'm on my last one. So, hoping for the best. Okay, screws are in. I think this is good to go. I'm gonna plug all this stuff back in. And this guy as well. And then there's a little red locking tab I have to push in. And I have to still do this guy eventually, and the map sensor. It's coming in the mail today, but this is my only day off, and I really don't want to spend the whole thing doing work for free. Gonna mount this back up, make sure everything is right, and I gotta put the airbox back on, and then I'm gonna start it, and hopefully it doesn't suck. Okay, So I'm done. I made sure this sealed well. I made sure this is tight. I made sure the hose clamp is tight. I have all my wires back down. Everything I unplugged is plugged back in. The only thing I unplugged was the idle air and the map and the, not the map sensor, the throttle body sensor. So that's been replugged in. Just did this valve cover gasket. Everything is routed back to where it has to be. Oil cap is on. Oh, only thing I can do is start it and make sure that everything is right. Don't mind the guaranteed muffler leak. Good. Well, now I just have to, while it's running, pop this hood and make sure there's no oil spewing out the valve cover gasket. All looks dry. My power steering pump sounds like it's about to explode, so that's terrible. Oh yeah, it sounds awful. No issues. That's awesome. So from one outro to another, this is the second video that I would have made today, which was simple, just the throttle body position sensor. That sucked. Theoretically, it's really easy. It's 2 screws and a couple of plugs. It's really, really easy, but it wasn't. The screws were absolutely horribly stuck. I lost a bit and I broke a bit. So I wasn't happy about how it went. I got it in and it's all right and everything's fine, but it shouldn't have been that difficult. Maybe if you're doing it, maybe it's gonna be easier for you, but it was just getting those 2 screws out. It took me forever. It took me forever. Anyway, an easy job, made not so easy. So that's done. And I have some other stuff to do, and whenever I do, I guess I'll try to film that as well. All right, well, that's it.